welcome back to Magny Cours, where the first race of the weekend for the Lotus Cup Europe is well underway. And look at this enormous pack streaming their way around the Magny Cours circuit, which is a Grand Prix venue. Well, it held its first Grand Prix back in 1991, so 20 years ago since the first Formula 1 race there. And the circuit virtually unchanged since that day, as we get a good shot of David Fenn in the Go Green Motorsport machine. He's just ahead of Tom Chataway, and also Juan Fabrice, having had various adventures a little bit lower down the order. Here's Olivier Severini, and he has just been passed by the beautiful Evora of Gregory Rass in car 122. So dicing going throughout the back. There is Pete Story. He's got Marcus Nikovic for fairly close company. Also David Harvey well up in the 340R as everybody. Constantine's up under braking coming through towards the end of lap one, but in lead the race is Remy Pochevin from Christophe Lisandre second, Carl Vivian in third, and Philippe Luc in fourth. And a bit of a gap back to Jean-Baptiste Meusnier, and then more or less the rest of the pack in one long line. Thierry Verhuis there in his Evora in the traditional Lotus cars. We've got a good battle here between David Fenn and Tom Chataway. It's Chataway in the 62 car, David Fenn in the Go Green Motorsport machine, as Steve Williams is also coming under a bit of pressure, this time from John Rass, who showed so well at Dijon. But at Dijon, it was Remy Pochevin, that man nearly the race, who rather dominated, as the battle for second is beginning to get a little bit tasty, because Christophe Lisandre is being reeled in here by Carl Vivian. It's Lisandre in the black and multicoloured car, and then Vivian in the all-black machine, as Gregory Rass looking to make the challenge on his brother John. This is, as always in Lotus Cup Europe, the pair of them are just inseparable. They're always dicing with each other and always give us some great action, which is rather good news for Steve Williams, who's just ahead of them. He'll be hoping that they dice amongst themselves, enabling Steve Williams to possibly just drive off and go down in pursuit of Jean-Pierre Prachet, who's the man immediately in front of him, as Severini in the orange 211 sets off in pursuit of that tussle as well. So at the moment it's John who's just got the honours from Gregory Rass, then that gap back to Severini, then Thierry Verhuis, and then we've got David Fenn, who seems to have seen off the challenge momentarily of Tom Chataway, although Tom Chataway, again, exuberant driver, I'm sure that he won't make that rest as we come into the slow section at the end of the lap here at Magny Cours. No real way through here. They've just got this flip-flop chicane. It was Jono Trulli who famously lost a Grand Prix podium here a few years ago, but no problems this time around for Christophe Lisandre. Carl Vivian not quite close enough, so they go in to start another lap. And this wonderful, fast-flowing section at the start of the lap, particularly the endless right-hander at Estoril, where Jacques Villeneuve had his notorious incident back in the mid-1990s. The driver's really on the limits of adhesion, planting the right foot fully as they then move to the outside of the circuit. And they need to carry as much speed as they dare, because then their run along to the Adelaide hairpin is absolutely key, as that's one of the principal overtaking opportunities here at Magny Cours. And Vivian, I'm not sure, is in the slipstream of Christophe Lisandre and Philippe Luc in fourth position. Then we have got this fight going on behind Jean-Baptiste Meusnier, leading the rest of the group, as still Gregory Rass unable to find a way past John Rass. Is the hairpin going to be the opportunity? In fact, it's Steve Williams possibly coming under pressure, but instead we see the move from the 79 car, Jean-Pierre Prachet, who in fact gets the position on Jean-Baptiste Meusnier. So the fluorescent yellow and black 211 finding his way to the head of the queue. Now, will Jean-Pierre be able to drive away from this tussle? We've got the sequence now of the fast S-Bens, the Nürburgring and Senna S's here at Magny Cours, and again, not really an overtaking opportunity, but corners that the drivers very much enjoy, so they get to flip through. There is Olivier Cunat in the number 10 car in his Exige, as we look a little bit lower down the order, as kicking up the dust is Xavier Georges, but no harm done there. Remy Pochevin continues to lead, but we've got a change now for second place, because up in second has gone Carl Vivian, so Christophe Lisandre demoted. Well, I think we rather saw that one coming, because Christophe Lisandre was coming under increasing pressure from Carl Vivian. It's a great shot there. You can see his eyes as he looks ahead of him through the corner, as he sets about building his advantage in second position. I rather fear that Remy Pochevin has a little bit too far up the road, because these 211s very evenly prepared, and so I think he's going to have to rely maybe on Remy Pochevin easing off his pace or making an error, as Philippe Luc keeping the top three honest in fourth place. Should anything go wrong, then he's ready to pounce and get onto the podium. Still Christophe Lisandre closing up under braking onto the tail of Carl Vivian. No way through this time around, so they accelerate out of the Adelaide hairpin. The road just falling away from them And look at those curbs there, because immediately on the side of the road they're quite flat, and then they raise up quite dramatically, so the drivers are going to be pretty much inch perfect to carry the speed through. Here's a replay, an instant further back and bang! And that is Juan Fabrice and Thierry Humbert. And Humbert in the red car, rather getting the worst of that. It's slightly second hand to 11 as Nicholas Walker it is, coming under pressure here from Simon Deacon. It's Walker in the orange car, Deacon in the black, and then Pete Story in the sky blue and orange behind. So the three British drivers having a good tussle. And great to see Nicholas Walker mixing it with the two drivers behind him, because Walker, in terms of experience, much fewer racing miles than Simon Deacon and Pete Story. And then immediately behind them, that's Herbert Metzger in the multicoloured 12 car. As we've got a change, and through and up the place goes Simon Deacon. So Simon Deacon gaining the place. That's for 14th position. So Nicholas Walker demoted into 15th, and he's going to become 16th because Pete Story is going to go through as well. He's got the inside run into turn 1. So will Pete Story be able to go through? Now Walker's got to be careful here. He doesn't want to expose himself too much on the outside because it gets very slippery, and then that happens, and off goes Nicholas Walker. He does a 360. He's not too deep into the gravel trap. He's going to rejoin, I think, just around about Xavier Georges, so a little bit lower down the order, about 20th position. He's come back onto the track as Remy Pourchevin, and he dominated at Dijon, and he's doing the same here at Magny Cours. He's already coming up towards some of the back markers. That's Alain Adou in the number 50 machine, so he's going to be the first of the men to be lapped, as here comes the fantastic fight for second. Carl Vivian and Christophe Legendre. They've rather dropped Philippe Loup, although the pair of them still nice and close. So Adou that with no real problems. This could potentially give Christophe Legendre an opening, because when you come up onto those slower cars, well, the advice given to those drivers is just stay on the racing line, let the quicker men find their way around you. But you can never be entirely sure that's going to happen, and then that can sometimes give the opportunity for your rival immediately behind to pounce. Great shot of the eyes there of Carl Vivian as he's really in full concentration mode. Here is the battle for the lead of the production class, and it's Jose Vanzlat at the moment who has just got the run on Nigel Ayres. It's Vanzlat in the yellow machine, and then Ayres in the front of the white car, and they're pretty much exactly a lap behind. So they're a little bit lower down the field. That's Sven Pettersson in the 88 car in one of the 211s. There's a big moment there from Gregory Rass, nicely held. He had a big slide, the rear of the car breaking away from him. He's also, glad to see, found his way past brother John. So the pair of them continuing their tussle. It's the Evora heading up the Exige through Estoril. The pair of them come. Now is this going to give John Rass the chance to potentially close in? We've also got Jean-Pierre Prachet in fairly close attendance as well, as we're moving towards the closing stages of the race here, and still Christophe Legendre can't find his way past Carl Vivian. And two wheels on the curb. These 211s, such good looking racing cars as well, really do look as racing cars should. And these drivers pushing them to the absolute limits around the Magny Cours circuit. No longer home to the Grand Prix, but still a very, very well respected venue on the European motorsports calendar. And this weekend, Lotus Cup Europe drivers supporting the FIA Formula 2 Championship. The road just dipping away from the drivers as they carry the speed through, almost up onto three wheels there for Carl Vivian. He's on the limit, and this is why, because Christophe Legendre looks to challenge on the inside, and he goes through. Great move from Legendre. Now what can Carl Vivian do to fight back? Because Christophe Legendre, he saw half an opening, he went to the inside, and through he went. As into the final couple of turns comes our lights to flag race winner Remy Pourchevin. It's been an imperious drive. The checkered flag goes out, and Pourchevin claims the first win here at Magny Cours, the first of two races. Superb drive from him. What about the fight for second? As we look into the distance, I think it is Carl Vivian who's gone through in second. Christophe Legendre dropped a long way back in third, so out of our sight, Vivian's found his way through. Christophe Legendre's had a moment, so Carl Vivian a great second, Christophe Legendre in third. There is the classification, with Remy Pourchevin taking the win from Carl Vivian second, Legendre third, Philippe Loup in fourth, Jean-Pierre Prachet in fifth, and Gregory Rass just holding off brother John for sixth and seventh respectively. In terms of the classes, well, the Lotus 211 class was the top three in the race overall, so Remy Pourchevin from Carl Vivian and Christophe Legendre. In the Evoras, it was Gregory Rass who held off Thierry Verheist. The Exige Cup honours went the way of Jean Rass from Olivier Cunat and Herbert Metzger. In the Lotus Open class, we saw a great drive from David Fenn to edge out David Harvey and Xavier Georges. And last but certainly not least, the production class won by Matt Bartlett, edging out Jose Vanzlat and Nigel Ayres. A great race there from the Lotus Cup Europe, always providing some super dicing throughout the field, and the drivers very deservedly receiving the applause and the champagne on the podium. Well, top three overall, the first to break out the bubbly, and then it's the time of the class winners to receive the trophies and the attentions of the grid girls following a great race.
It seems it was easy, but it was not so easy at the beginning because I have to push a lot, and after, when I have made a hole about 4 or 5 seconds, I have to manage my my tires, and after there is no problem.
Carl, première participation et une deuxième place.
First race, second place. How is it?
Ce qui s'est passé, c'est
What
que j'ai
happened?
suivi les lièvres les premiers.
Well, I just followed the first
j'étais dans la
ones
course de suite
and
et
tried
voilà,
to
donc,
keep the pace.
J'ai bien senti la voiture.
The car was
le
okay.
comportement était sain.
Was going
j'étais
strong.
bien. J'étais bien.
Christophe,
Christophe,
remontée à la deuxième
fabulous
place,
second place, and then you lost in the last corner.
Dans le dernier tour, j'ai fait une faute.
Yes,
j'ai
just
doublé
lost
sur
it.
une partie sale de la
I
piste et
managed
j'ai
to
marqué
overtake
la
and
faute,
then
tout simplement.
I lost it.
Dommage.
La course était
Was a
belle
nice
quand même.
race?
Super
Yeah, it was
course, on
a
s'est
very,
bien
very
amusé
nice
avec
race. A
Carl,
lot of fun. A lot of pressure with Carl. That was
non,
really
franchement,
fun.
c'était vraiment très sympa. Vivement demain.
John, congratulations, first in class again.
Thank you.
So who was your strongest competition?
Yeah, it was really hard today because it's not my favorite track, and I don't know really the tracks. It's my second time here, and I'm a little bit surprised to be in front of Olivier Cunha. And it was a great fight between Jean-Pierre and my brother, and unfortunately my brother took the best, and Jean-Pierre did the same. So I did my best, and I'm happy with the result.
Join us after the break for more from Oulton Park and Magny Cours.